Hey everybody, today is Thursday and I'm in the soap room today working on some packages. I'm trying to get some gift boxes put together for some customers that have to go out. I've also been making some soap and I don't know, I don't even know where to look at in this camera. I don't know if anybody else has figured this out or has done it, but I thought I'd share a trick with you today about how I force gel my soaps that are in my tall and skinny molds. So I thought while I was in here doing that today, I'd just show you and share the video with you. So let me know if you thought about it. If you have any other ways that you do it, then please share, because that's one thing that I use mine a lot, and sometimes they're super tall, so that was one of my reasons for figuring this out, and just wanted to share the tip. So I hope you enjoy. Okay, so to my oils and butters, I am going to add some kale and clay. This is a lemongrass and lemon soap. So the lemongrass tends to be very strong in the soap and really sticks around, but the lemon tends to fade away. So by adding the kale and clay to the soap batter, that will slow down that process. So I'm going to get that blended in really well. And at the end of this video, I'll show you a trick of mine. I lots of times make high top soaps, and this trick was really helpful for me. This one is not a high top, but it will still give is a nice trick. So I just added some titanium dioxide that's been pre-mixed with water. I want this soap batter to be a light or a lighter yellow than I have yellow matte pigment, and that's pretty dark, and that came from Wholesale Supplies Plus. I really like using things from Wholesale Supplies Plus. They're one of my favorite places to go to. I do have some colors and some soap boxes and things like that from Nurture Soap. I also like them. And of course I have my mold that I'll be using today from Brambleberry. I do get lots of fragrances and molds and things like that also from Brambleberry. So I'm just going to set my stick blender down into my container where I had my milks, and I'm going to strain my lye solution because there is some lye lint in there that I don't want into the soap. Those white specks, if they did not dissolve completely, would definitely show up and probably would be very irritating to your skin, so I just wanted to make sure that I don't have any of those. And here's my yellow color. You can see how dark it is. Just have to say, in case you can hear my music on the radio in the background, I am not affiliated in any way with any music that you hear. I just listen to the radio while I work. And I need some more titanium dioxide to lighten that up just a little more. And I guess that's as light as I'm going to get it, since I don't have any other premixed, and I'm not going to pour any in that is not premixed. So here's my lemongrass and lemon essential oil blend. And this is just a 34-ounce batch of soap. This is for a customer. I had a call in for a request of this in lavender. I made the lavender first, and so now you can see the lemongrass being made. And I did the same thing in the end with the lavender as I'm doing with the lemongrass. Now this recipe is new to me. I always watch Katie Carson and seen a lot of her recipes, but have not yet tried one. But I have now started watching also Keely from Soy and Shay, and she shared a recipe that she used of Katie's that she tweaked. So I wrote down that recipe, and so Katie's recipe, Keely tweaked it, and now I've added my own spin to it. So we'll see how it goes. Now the tall and skinny molds, if you overfill them, will tend to bow sometimes. So I have this just in another container with some towels down the side to keep it from bowing. I normally use a wooden container that fits the mold pretty well, but I already have soap in another mold that's in that wooden container, so I had to improvise with this one. I wanted to go ahead and get the soap in the mold so I could get it shipped out to the customer. They do know that I'll let it cure for like a week or so, and then they would also need to continue that curing process for at least another week. I did do a pretty steep water discount, so it shouldn't take that long, but this is not a new customer, so they know the whole spiel about how to let it cure. So I'm going to get as much of this in the mold as I can. And with this recipe, it is a little more than the mold will hold because it's not a high top soap. But I have a 6-cavity round mold that I got from, pretty sure that it came from Brambleberry. And I poured the extra batter in that mold, and that way that can become my personal soap. Or it can be used for samples if I need to. Now to my recipe, in the container earlier, I poured milk and heavy cream into the soap batter. I really love what heavy cream does to a soap batter as far as the lather goes. It's just, I don't know, it just makes it thicker and creamy. And this recipe is supposed to be thicker and creamy anyway, so I will say that the olive content in this batch of soap is higher than what I typically do, but I left that portion the same as how Keely had it, which I think is what she said also Katie Carson's was the same. So I'm going to go ahead and put some of this batter into this mold for myself. I'm going to grab a skewer because I'm going to want to do a little something to the top of the soap that's in the mold for the customer to make it pretty. And I'm going to use not the pointy end of the skewer, but just the rounded end, just to make it have some texture on the top, some interest. And I always have a hard time going back in the opposite direction the same way the whole way down. I don't know why. I just can't. It's just an affliction that I have. Just can't work backwards. So I'm going to go ahead and add the remaining batter, or the remaining, I can't even talk today, batter to my personal bar here. And then once I get it all in, I'll tap it down and I'll move it away over to the side. I do love the smell of this soap. It's so nice and clean. So I'll get this out of the way and then I'll be right back so I can show you the trick that I use that's great for those high top soaps, especially if you have the ones that you put the straws down in or a really tall piped top. I have lots of these tall and skinny molds, and if you just turn one upside down over the other, it will, especially if the soap is really nice and warm, it will create a good seal for you. And that's how I do it, and I hope that if you hadn't thought about doing that this helped you. And if you have a better tip, let me know. I'm always willing to learn, so I'll bring you back for the cut. And here we have the cuts. They gelled perfectly, no bellies, and so that's my tip to you. If you liked my video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and thanks for watching. Bye till next time.